Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. This is your host, Debbie. Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. I'm your host, Debbie, and today we have some very special guests here in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you for having us. I'm Dr. Nadej Gunn. I'm a gastroenterologist and hepatologist here in Waco.
Perfect. And we have another guest in the studio.
Thank you, Debbie, again for having us. My name is Jonathan Garcia. I'm a community liaison with Impact Research Institute.
Perfect. I'm so glad to have you guys here today. The first question I always ask all of my new guests is, what brought you to Waco, or are you a Waco native? So tell me your Waco journey.
Well, I'm not a Waco native, but Waco actually caught my interest in a very unique way. So I was practicing in Austin, Texas for quite some time as a liver specialist. We were conducting clinical research studies for a condition that was formerly known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And this is a disease that affects primarily those that have diabetes, are overweight, obese, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And we had a really fancy technology that helps to detect whether there's fat in the liver and scar. And people were coming from all around Austin and beyond to get a test. And when I asked where they were coming from, many of them unanimously said they were coming from 254.
Wow.
Whether it was Waco, Killeen, Harker Heights, that whole area. Mm-hmm. And so when I decided it was time to really make a difference and bring the technology to where the people were, I thought Waco was a natural next step.
I love that. And you?
So I came to Waco about 18 years ago. I came for college to Baylor University. I met my wife there, and we've had 3 kids since then, 3 little girls. We love Waco, and we've stayed here.
I'm so glad. That's fantastic. And I hear that a lot from a lot of people. They come here for school, and then they just never leave. So we're glad to have you here in our community. So tell me a little about Impact Research Institute. Tell me all about it. What's behind it? All the things.
Well, Impact Research is a clinical research facility that is primarily focused on fatty liver, which is formerly known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it was recently renamed in June of 2023, just last month. So the new term is metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease. And I know that's a mouthful.
Will there be a test at the end?
Yeah, maybe. And it was just renamed because fatty liver did have a little bit of a stigmatizing connotation. And also, as clinicians, we thought, well, why don't we name a disease by more what it is and not what it's not? Mm-hmm. And so this is a condition that affects 30% of Americans, 30% of the world, really, and people don't know they have it. So you're just trucking along, living life, and maybe you're a little bit overweight. Maybe you've developed diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and your liver could be suffering in silence. It could be scarring and eventually could lead to cirrhosis. And many people think cirrhosis is only a disease of alcoholics or people that maybe have had hepatitis or some other conditions, but it can happen to any one of us. And so we really make it our life's work to diagnose and screen for this condition and offer people treatments that are not yet available to the public.
That's so interesting. And so I know you're talking about bringing the equipment in. So tell me how people can find out more about that, how people can sign up, what you guys are offering the community.
Well, we were so grateful to get Jonathan to help us with our mission. So technically what we offer is the technology. It's called a FibroScan, and it's a painless, quick, easy tool that it's almost like an ultrasound, but it measures two things. One is whether or not the liver has fat inside, and the second is whether or not it scars the liver. And we offer this technology free Monday through Friday. Anyone can sign up for one. All they have to do is be fasting for 3 hours and they're good to go. Their doctors can refer them. But by our facility being here in Waco alone is just not enough to really spread the word to all the people that need it. And so Jonathan has been really instrumental. So he gets out into the community. We have partnering communities like Marlin, Mejia, Groesbeck, and we bring either the technology out to them or we speak to the community physicians. And I'd let Jonathan speak a little bit about what we do to outreach this effort.
Yeah, so just like Dr. Gunn has been saying, we've started in Falls Community Clinic over in Marlin. And so just trying to take that same technology to help identify patients with fatty liver disease and to really identify them, get the results back to their providers, and then to have a way to start that conversation with their doctors. And so other than the Marlin Clinic, we're looking at Clifton, Groesbeck, Mejia, and all these different hospital systems that are servicing already in good places, strategic places for these rural, kind of underserved communities that can really benefit from this technology. So my role has been really great in trying to reach those areas, identify, and then help them connect to that information for themselves, and then also the opportunities that we have through clinical research.
Wow, yes. And I know you guys do a lot of trials with that and are doing research behind that to, again, help this that I believe that currently doesn't have medication or have a treatment.
You're right. No treatment is available. FDA has not approved any medication to date for this, and so many people are suffering with it. And the nice thing about clinical trials, I know that people sometimes think research, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a guinea pig. This is awful. But many of the medications that we use are already approved for other things, but they're now being looked at in fatty liver, or they're highly, highly studied, very well regulated. And then you're followed by a team of professionals and clinicians that are monitoring things very closely so that you can get the best results and the best outcomes. And I always like to tell patients when they come to me with, well, why would I be in a trial? Isn't there a chance that I could get a placebo or a fake or don't get a medicine at all? And I said, well, you're 100% on no medicine right now. Mm-hmm. So if you're in a clinical trial, you have a 75% chance of getting a very active medicine that could change everything for you. So we're really excited to be on the cutting edge of potentially a drug that will be soon approved for this condition.
Wow. And why do you think this is so important here in our Waco community?
Yeah, there really is just a large percentage of the population here in Waco and around the world that really has this condition that they don't know about it, right? It's a silent condition. You really have no symptoms until it's too late, until you're in those last stages. And so really helping identify and getting treatment for the ones that have been identified already, whether it's with our technology or some other way, to really connect to these clinical trials as an option for them to get better, closer help. And also it really offers affordable care where it's free. It's at no cost to them to get these medications and this close medical monitoring of their health.
That's right. And when you ask about why the population, why Waco, I mentioned this probably a few times already, but Waco does have the risk factors here just amongst us. The risk factors that drive non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease are 1, overweight, 2, obese, 3, high blood pressure, 4, high cholesterol, 5, diabetes. And the little known fact is that if you're Hispanic, you may carry a gene that is pretty prevalent within the Hispanic population for fatty liver disease. Wow. And so that's kind of daunting information for those who are just part of a family of genetics that don't even understand why their grandmother had cirrhosis or their cousin had liver problems.
Wow, that's so important for our community here. And what would you say is your overall mission behind this?
Well, I think for me, it's just raising awareness about liver disease in general. The FibroScan is a technology that tests every liver. So you don't have to have fatty liver or think you have fatty liver to get your liver checked. Yeah. since COVID, we learned that people are drinking a lot of alcohol, a lot more than they probably typically did pre-COVID. And so I encourage anyone who maybe beat up their liver a little bit with alcohol to come and get a scan, see if your liver is in decent shape. Other things, other risk factors for liver disease are maybe injection drug use back in the day or currently, or tattoos, or a blood transfusion before the 1980s. That could set you up for hepatitis C and you may not know it. So coming in and getting your liver checked is not just because we think you could have fatty liver. It's because you ought to get your liver checked.
Yeah, that's so important. And again, this is a free service and you get the results same day as well. And those can be sent to your doctor and really just a whole team. So tell me again, give me all the information.
Yeah, sure. So just like Dr. Gunn said, it's really a fascinating technology. It's free. It doesn't hurt. You get results right away, just like Debbie said. And the simplest way to get into that access is just giving us a call, and we schedule you an appointment. Our phone number is 254-294-4780. And you just call. We're open Monday through Friday. We don't close for lunch. And you can schedule an appointment. It just takes about, at most, about a 45-minute appointment. You get your results right away. It'll be printed out for you. You'll get a consultation with one of our providers to go over those results. And it really is just a great service. We get, it's wild how well received our services are in the community. And it's really making a difference.
Yeah, that's so important. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. And now for a word from our sponsors.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
And we have a new podcast for you. What's it called, Caroline?
Bloody Happy Hour.
It's going to be your new favorite guilty pleasure. We're going to talk about some bloody stuff. Serial killers, true crime, rapists. Why not join us? We'll have a good time.
You literally never know. I don't know what I'm going to say. Bloody Happy Hour. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh yeah,
loud.
I'm back,
Okay.
baby. Woo!
Hi, I'm Trey Cooper,
I'm Solomon Cooper.
and we're the hosts of the Kid Stays in the podcast.
It's a cross-generational discussion about movies. Two perspectives. I'm the young one, he's the old one, and we have some fun arguments.
I don't think we need to say it that way.
You're old.
Anyway, whenever you tune in to listen to the Kid Stays in the podcast, you can expect to hear a very, very intelligent discussion of a film from me and a really imbecilic perspective from Solomon, who hates anything that wasn't made after 2007.
You're very rude to me.
We tried to watch a movie from 1985 once, and he really hated it. Tune into our show. Hear me roast Solomon week after week.
Find us anywhere you get your podcast or on roguemedianetwork.com.
What are we doing here, Rusty? What are we going to do?
Yep, we're doing the King of the Hill Rewatch podcast.
King of the Hill
Yes, sir.
Rewatch podcast. Yeah, so we're going to go through one episode at a time. Come along for the ride with us.
Come check it out.
And give me a good like Dale Gribble quote to go out on. Wingo!
Yeah, Wingo.
Wingo!
Wingo.
All right, well, join us for the King of the Hill Rewatch podcast.
Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, streaming January 25th, only on Netflix.
And now, back to the episode. All right, and we are back. So we're just talking about how amazing this technology is for our community and really just how important it is to be tested and having this opportunity available here in Waco. One of the first questions I love to ask once we get back from break is, what is something you would like to see more of in our community?
Well, I think Waco does a fantastic job in just community efforts. We've been to many health fairs and many gatherings that show that this is truly a community-driven place. I would like to see more healthy food options,
Yes.
more restaurants with like salads and the Mediterranean blend of foods, because that is what we do tell our patients, that they got to eat more Mediterranean. But when they feedback to us that they can't find those foods and they're so expensive and they can't afford those foods, I wonder if we can do better about, one, making those types of foods more affordable, and then two, making more access and availability for healthy food options.
Wow, that's so important. And for you?
That's good. I was kind of thinking the same way, but perhaps on the grocery side, just same way, access to healthier foods. And I think there's a lot of great organizations in the Waco area that are trying to help, bridge that gap. A lot of, in the food deserts that we have where it's hard to get healthy produce. But I think, we're going the right direction, and I think that's what I would love to see more healthy food options, whether it's more farmers markets, but maybe decentralized, where there's farmers markets kind of spread out more in the area. But yeah.
I love that. And that is so important. And I know a lot of people always talk about like food resources and, even just where they can get food, or, our communities that don't have access to those type of same resources that maybe even bigger cities have that we don't have. So it's very interesting just seeing that dynamic between, people downtown versus on our smaller subsets like Marlin and Mahia,
Right.
and even Spiegelville and out that direction. It's just so interesting to see that divide here in Waco itself. And with this, it just all goes hand in hand with health, which is so important here.
Yeah.
And, Waco does have a capacity for, being a more healthy city. We have Cameron Park and the river, and people can get out and get active. What is something that is your favorite way to get healthy or be active in Waco?
Right now, it's just exploring Waco. We've only been here less than 2 years, and so just driving around and experiencing the different pockets of different neighborhoods, we're still very much experiencing Waco as a city. So I think we're always surprised with little new places to discover.
Yeah, I love that.
And then for me, so I have 3 little girls, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And so we've loved Cameron Park, doing all the hiking trails.
And splash
through
pad.
there. And the splash pad. Yep, and the water park. But it's kind of hot outside, so we've been,
just a little bit.
just a little bit. So we've been hitting that water park pretty hard. And then just other indoor, like the Mayborn Science Museum, the Discovery Centers. That's been great.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And again, just getting involved in the community is a way to get out there and, find out what other resources there are for people. With this, I know that you guys have partnered with some other organizations and work with people in the community. Is there anybody you want to shout out that's helped along this journey or anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, we really are dependent on all of the great providers in the area, and so we'd love to shout out all the great hospital system, Ascension Providence, Baylor Scott and White, but also Coriel Health, Parkview Medical, Limestone Medical Center, good old Witcher, all these great hospital systems and clinics that help us, get the word out, identify patients, and connect them to the right resources.
And And these health systems have been integral to just really raising awareness. And also the people of Waco have really just spread the word of mouth. And we also see a lot of just interest coming from beyond even the health systems. Prosper Waco. Waco's indigent resources for those who are uninsured and are under-resourced when it comes to health care. Those organizations have been really great. Clínica Hispana, which is a small clinic here in Waco that services primarily Hispanics. They've been really integral to sending those patients and helping us to identify them. And then one thing I would like to say is clinical research is definitely not something for everyone. Not everyone wants to just step up and volunteer. But Caritas, which is, I guess, a local food pantry here, we have partnered with them to pay it forward. So whenever someone steps forward to be a part of a clinical trial and we identify them as a medical hero, we put money in their name to feed the people of Waco. Wow. And so we think that is a great organization, and we do want to show that being a research participant is much more than you.
I love that. And again, that just goes back into giving back into your community. And again, just having those resources available. Food stability, so important. And that's amazing. Which goes back to what you were even talking about of having access to those resources and food here in our community, which is absolutely amazing. Again, I want to, of course, how can people find out about this? Where can they get for more information? Plug yourself, where we can find out all the things. Go ahead and give us all of it.
Yeah, so you can find more information about us on our website, impactresearchtx.com. And then we're all on the 4 main socials on LinkedIn. You can find us Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then in general, again, our phone number is accessible. You can call us anytime and ask any questions that you want, whether it's the free liver health scan that you can get scheduled right away, or it could be, you're interested in one of our clinical trials. And so you can find a current list of the diseases or the conditions that we have clinical trials for on our website. Right now, it's mostly fatty liver disease, but other liver diseases, also weight loss. We also have trials for acid reflux, and so our phone number again is 254-294-4780. And again, you can ask any question you want, including any conditions that we have or anything else that we have available.
All right, perfect. And is there anything else you wanted to share with our listeners today?
Just get your liver checked. Woo. Come one, come all. Just come and get it checked and let us share some good information with you about your health.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to share today?
Yeah, so just like Dr. Gunn said, it really is a great service that we have. And so if you hear nothing else, just call the phone number, get that liver scan scheduled. You'll be grateful that you did.
254-294-4780.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Find us everywhere on all social media platforms, KNOW_Waco. Check us out at roguemedianetwork.com, and we're on YouTube under Rogue Media Network. Check out nowaco.com.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.